Okay, this video is going to be a little bit long, but I got to get it all out because nobody else is going to do it if I don't do it, right? A lot of you, as young women and men, are dating women and men who call themselves lady and gentlemen who actually serves hoism. Honest to God, they are certified homogers who serve hoism. They enter into relationships with young people, old people, whatever they got to enter into a relationship with to get ahead in their place in temples that they worship. In Hoism, they worship sexual immorality, right? This is an occultic type behavior, something that is ungodly, uncleansed, unrighteous. They sleep with whoever to get ahead. It could be a corpse. I know you have understood the saying that some corpses are not dead. They are not. Some of them are held in a coma state, in a subconscious state, and those corpses they rape off. They sleep with those people and stuff like this. This is part of the reason why when we realized that some of these people weren't dead and they were considered corpses, but they were coming back to life, we stop the process, and it's a law where it's against the law. It's a felony for you to sleep with a corpse because that corpse can come back to life at any time because it could be held in the subconscious or a comatose state, which gives the illusion of death, but is not really dead. They're into all these ungodly things, right? A lot of times they walk into your churches, right? These are satanic worship, occultic people, ungodly people. They're in your churches trying to take over your churches. So when they come in your church trying to take over your church, the first thing that they do, they go after the women who have not had sex in a long time, who's not in relationships, who does not want to be in a relationship, women that have great esteem, reputation, and everything. And those are the women that they want to date. And the reason why they want to date these women because their reputation is very high for being exceptional women, and they want to take that crown. They want to make them submissive. They want to subdue them. They want to hold them demonic captive. You know what I'm saying? They don't have respect for you as a woman or a man who has held yourself back for years and years of not being sexually active, years and years of not lying, years and years of not stealing, years and years of not committing sins against God. And they are very deceptive. They come smiling, they come pretending that they're people of God. They come shouting like they people of God. They come doing certain things like they're people of God, but there is no God in them. Everything that says Lord, Lord will not be saved because they are not saved. They're not believers. They're not the type of people who you think that they are. They're just putting on a show and pretty much getting paid for it because they get paid to do certain stuff to destroy our culture and our people. And some of these people are not going to talk about it. Now, for our young women, a lot of our young women right now in the church, I cannot say y'all names because it's so much stuff going on with you with the faith calling that's on your life. I see it every day on TV. I see it every day, and I have seen the switch ups that they have done with you, where they have other men laying with you, have other men representing them, and it's not really them. Have a whole bunch of stuff going on that should not be going on in your life. Now, I know you heard this song, There's a Stranger in My House, and that song is as accurate as it gets in some of these marriages where they're switching out your husband and another woman is sleeping with your husband and you are sleeping with a different man and they have no respect. They have defiled your bed. This is part of the reason why women and men that are married now, they say, okay, well, they're not having sex. They just sit there and hold hands. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce said it in Drunken Love that, look, we was only with each other. I've been only with you. You've been only with me. How could this happen? How could we end up in hell? How could we end up going through with this hoism thing? And truth be told, the reason why you're going through is because it's trying to attack you because it does not want to honor you anymore because either somebody stepped out in the marriage. That has happened before where the man probably slept with somebody he probably didn't want to. I mean, I can tell you a story. I had a guy that I was dating. I had my first child by, and he didn't want to be in a relationship with anyone else but me, but ended up being forced into relationships. This type of thing happens. We have to accept what's really taking place and what's really happening. Um, I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of us is getting married. The guy seems nice, but I told you about switches, tears, and weeds. Okay, the guy that you're with may be a nice man. He may not be partaking in these hoism rituals. But guess what? They'll put him to sleep and put him in a comatose state in a heartbeat. They'll put him in a comatose state in a heartbeat and try to come in and pretend that they're all the man that you need them to be. And everybody's asking the question, well, how can't you figure it out? Aren't they a little bit taller? Aren't they a little bit smaller? Aren't they this? Aren't they that? Their bodies can't be exactly the same, this and that. I'm going to be real with you. When you're out of it, you're out of it. When you're dealing with vision compromise, and a lot of people don't tell you what the devil is vision compromise. And sometimes you don't even know that you're suffering blindness and vision compromise because that's what it is. It's blindness and vision compromise. And you can't see clearly. So you don't know who you're having sex with. You don't know what you're having sex with. You thinking, okay, well, I'm sleeping with my husband the whole time. You don't know how many men you done slept with because you're used to being sexually active with this person and stuff. And I'm going to tell you about a group of men that have been marrying off women. Um, Sitting up there got 90 wives and is selling their wives to other men because he comes home every night. How can he come home every night to 90 different women? He's not. He's selling you to men. And these men are paying to come home to you and lay with you and sleep with you. And you're not aware of it because you're saying, hey, my husband's coming home every night. When truth be told, he hasn't probably been there in God knows how long. He's been selling your body and prostituting you out. And they don't want to talk about this stuff. This is the stuff that they don't want me to put out there, but this is the stuff that must be put out there because if I don't talk about it, nobody else is going to talk about it. And I know y'all heard, oh, well, marital bed is undefiled, but I can tell you right now, I know so many family members that have been defiled in marriage. I know so many people that have been defiled in marriage. I know so much stuff that's going on in marriages too. It's ridiculous. And a lot of times you're held holding the bag. They sit there while you sleep at night, probing, brain probing, because they got you in a matrix system in a comatose state. This is what we call Satan. And they got you just sitting there comatose, out of it, in the subconscious, out of it. This is why you can't alert authorities. This is a controlled environment. That matrix that they're talking about, that matriarch system, a controlled environment. And that controlled environment stays in chaos. And they try to build fear in you in that chaotic system. They're trying to make you fear them. They want you to be scared of them. They want you to be scared to say something to them. They want you to be scared to serve God. They want you to be scared of them. And the moment that they build that fear up in you to the point where there's no return, it's over with. And that's the truth. And nobody's going to tell you this like I'm going to tell it to you. Nobody's going to divulge this type of information to you. Nobody's going to tell you how many years you've been sitting up there and they have set up there and basically hypnotized you into certain behaviors, hypnotized you into acceptance of certain things, and you don't want to accept it. And they're not going to talk on it. They're not going to speak on it. Nobody going to say nothing on it. It take people like me, who's a nobody or nothing. I ain't got nothing to lose. Let me be real with you. I ain't got nothing to lose. I could put it all out there on Front Street. They ain't paying me nothing. They don't care for me. They ain't look. Hey, be totally honest with you. Them people done told me a million times they gonna kill me off and put me in jail, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. That's how real they is. They told me to my face they gonna kill me off, put me in jail, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. I'm just gonna be another number, another missing person who nobody cares for. And this is the stuff that they don't talk about. They ain't gonna wake y'all up to it. They ain't gonna talk about how messed up this mess really gets. You get what I'm saying? You don't got to do nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. All you have to do is have a boyfriend, a husband, or something like that. How do I lose salvation when I'm married? A marital bed is supposed to be undefiled. Apostle Paul said if you can't sit up there and you can't keep yourself to yourself, then to get married. But they did not tell you all the things that you'll be exposed to in marriages, all the STDs that show up in your marriage that should never show up because you're being raped off right there in your community. And guess what? Your community leaders already know about it and may be partners with some demonic activities and rituals that says that that's okay for this to go on. Some of them may be even suffering it, even though they're not partakers of it, maybe suffering hemorrhoids, women suffering unwanted touches and rape situations that they can't see who's raping them because they're going through vision compromise. They're in a comatose state where they're somewhat awake and somewhat asleep and they're being sodomized and they don't care. And they say, oh, well, you got to do a little wrong to get this to go right now. And to be totally honest with you, and when you hearing songs like, well, God don't play about me, he doesn't. But at the same time, you got other stuff going on to make you think that you're righteous and holy. And those little sins that you commit, throw all of that out the door over time. And you have to be careful. You have to be mindful of that. Just small sins, just a little wrong. That's all it takes, and they're good. They sold into that. They never care for us. They never care about you. They never care about me. They never wanted us to have. So know what you're dealing with. Know the enemy very well because the enemy cares nothing about you, me, or anybody else. It's just saying, hey, look, we got it. We got it the way we want to have it, and it's the way it's gonna work. So be mindful, you guys, because it's a lot going on. Sometimes you got to sit there and hold your husband's hand and say, baby, I love you. And we're not going to be sexually active because there's a lot going on around us. And I'm going to be real with you. I say I have this April, it'll be 9 years. Honestly, it's been longer than 9. That's the God heaven truth because time is going on this app. It's kind of crazy. It's been longer than 9 years. And I have suffered rape situations that I would never want any young woman or man to go through. It's unfair to you. It's unrighteous. It's unholy. It's unfair to you. I would never want you to go through this. But if I don't wake you up to it and it starts to happen to you, you won't know why. You'll think you're just going mentally crazy, and you're not going mentally crazy. These people do this to people for no reason at all. You didn't do nothing wrong. You weren't a bad person. You had every right to date a guy and or a girl and fall in love. But the sad part about it, if you have sex with that person, hoism is trying to creep in one way or another. And the spirit of hoism, it is a child molesting spirit. So you will need to sustain from having sex. It is a homosexual spirit. So you will need to sustain from being involved with any partners. It is a spirit of filth. And when I say filth, you'll find yourself doing all kinds of sexual, immoral things and paying for it in ways that it you will be ashamed, but you have no reason to be ashamed of it because it has happened to millions and millions of people. But you didn't know about demonic captivity, so you went under demonic captivity, and that's the reason why you committed those acts. And I feel sorry for you because nobody's divulging this information to y'all as clear as I'm divulging it to you right now. You can be in a marriage. In that marriage, that man has 90 wives almost. They are living what we call the lion spirit. And this lion spirit, because they love to talk about the Lion of Judah in the churches and stuff like that. I wish they would stop, but I can't urge them and tell them why that's not a good spirit. Because what's going on, because they got it connected to a biblical text, and the text says it's conquering, it's powerful, it's almighty. But a lion spirit wants to be the head over a bunch of women, and that's what connects to that. So you have like one man, he's married to all these different women, and he's pimping them out and selling them to other men. And these men come home to these women, but guess what? The men that's coming home to them aren't even known. They're not even in our records or in our systems here in the United States. These are children that have been birthed in lodges and placed, and they're undocumented children as though they're immigrants when they were born right here in the United States by parents that were actual citizens. And they're victimized every day. They can't get a job. So they're stealing social security numbers and stealing identities to get a job. I can't tell you how many times, and this is the God heaven truth. I leave a job and the job's like, oh, you've been here a whole year. No, I only worked for you, what, a week or two? Even at the job that I'm at right now, they're talking about I was with them a year and some days. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I didn't work for you that long. I only worked for you 2 weeks and I quit because I was up under so much distress over me working with you. And that's the honest to God truth. 2 weeks. And in their system, they got me for a whole year and something. And I did. So know what y'all dealing with. Because they steal identities. They steal jobs. You leave off a job. I remember I was working at the airport, and I almost had to go into war about my about my badge, because the manager was like, you're going to give me your badge or I'm going to call the police. Call the police. I'm not giving you nothing. I can go turn my badge in, but you will not get my badge, period. And when I told them that they weren't going to get my badge, hey, things change. This is real talk. They follow us, try to steal our identity. You're working at a job. I remember leaving corrections, and the woman said she called back the next day to see if I was going to hire her back. And I'm like, I never called that woman back the next day. I remember going back out there a couple of years later, getting ready to start back working with them, but I never called her back that next day. So who made that phone call? And this is the stuff that goes on where they want to do switches, tears, steal identity, social security cards, social security numbers, access to your life, and nobody's talking about it. But that's what actually is taking place and actually happening. And it's happening also in your relationships too. So be careful, people. Be careful, because some of these jobs know. You know, if you receive that phone call and a person says, I'm not working there no more, and you still got somebody there playing them after you heard them say, I'm not coming back to work for you no more, then you know that's not them. So you allow this type of behavior to happen. Know what you're dealing with. God bless. Take care.